Joann, wake up. Wake up. We gotta do the show. Your guest is here.
Show? What show? What are you talking about? What show?
Greg White. He's here. Hurry up.
Greg White?
Yes.
What show? What are we...
Joann, you were supposed to be ready. Are you not? Are you going on? You were supposed to go on camera. We're live now.
Now?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're going. You're going to go with it. Are you going to go with this hair? We're going to have to delay. Go back to sleep. Is this even your wardrobe? Let's do this again tomorrow. I'm sorry, we're going to have to wrap this whole thing. I know you're all here. I know you're organized. It's a wrap. Cut.
What a nightmare. Welcome, my name is Joann Yarrow. I'm here at Teatro Prometeo at Miami Dade College, and this is Open Page. I'm here with my guest, Greg White, who is quite an interesting figure. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a television host, so he's going to maybe teach me a few tricks about television hosting here. And he's worked with such wonderful people such as Norman Lear. He's worked on Disney's Social Studies. He's worked on Fox's Life with Louie. He's worked on the animated series Jumanji. You've written for all of these, and you're a blogger, and we're here to talk about his new book as well, which is The Pink Marine, and you're going to learn a little bit more about this book that's right here. And one of the things that, as we've been talking, what an amazing human being he is, because one of the things that I love, and we were talking about it, is...
I'm just going to stay here for a long time.
is you've had an incredible career where you've got to meet such amazing people, and you've got to overcome such obstacles, but you are constantly believing in yourself. And what is that drive that you know that I'm going to make it? What is that? What was that spark in you?
The Marine Corps. You know, I am here to plug a book, but I'm also here to have this conversation. And that is, you asked me that question, and it's easy to say that it's the Marine Corps. I had no business enlisting in the Marine Corps. I had no business joining. There is a 0-point chance that I should have succeeded in the Marine Corps, but I clearly survived. And the things that I learned from the Marines were that no matter how we feel, what we think, we can always take one more step, and we can always do better. We can always do more and reach higher. And so the Marine Corps, I was 18 years old. I was an insecure kid. I was, at that time in the 1970s when I was growing up, there were no gay heroes, no gay role models. There was nobody on television. There were no athletes saying that how I felt as a little kid inside was anything but wrong. There were people being arrested, not celebrated. There was no gay pride parades. And so I went into the Marine Corps. I lied about that whole fact, and then went in and learned where my place in not just the masculine world was, but where my place was in the American society. Because I was growing up, I was raised feeling like I was wrong and I was going to be an outcast forever.
And you had hopped around in several places and trying to find, where you belonged as well. And even when you went to enlist the first time, they didn't accept you right away. Is that right?
I didn't pass the physical. Yeah. And like you, I moved around a lot as a kid. I wasn't in the military. My parents were in the military, but I went to 13 schools in 11 years. And, I was always the new kid. But yes, I showed up to enlist and kind of thought I was doing them a favor. And I did not weigh enough. So, body issues, everybody has body issues. If you're heavy, you've got those issues. If you're thin, you have those issues. And so I had to cheat to get in.
What did you do?
Well, I ate as much as I could. We had 8 days before I shipped out. And this is horrible for some people to hear, but when you've never been able to gain weight, you cannot gain weight.
Yeah.
Just as if when you say you can't lose weight. So I tried, and I gained probably 10 of the pounds. And then just before I was ready to get in, the day we were shipping out, the recruiter took a 3-pound lead weight, and taped it to my skin under my underwear. And I weighed in like that. So I technically cheated.
Wow.
And lied.
Yeah. And little did you know what you were getting into, right?
Not a clue. I did not know they were going to shave my head. When I left home for the 13 weeks of boot camp, I packed 5 suitcases. And I needed options. I'd never been away from home that long. Summer camp, I'd been maybe 2 weeks. But I had no idea what I was doing. And you can't even bring your own toothbrush. So
right. And you thought it was a summer camp, because that's what you said. You heard camp, right? It's over the summer.
My best friend had military experience, and he called me and said, I'm going to join the Marine Corps. I'm going to go to Paris Island for the summer.
That sounds really nice.
Do boot camp. I thought, Paris? Boots? I'm in.
So there you go.
And that's really not a joke. That really is the level of information that I went in with.
And then what did you gain out of that? What was the life lessons that you gained out of that?
The most important life lesson is that we can do anything. We really can take one more step. When you're exhausted and you're walking, you really can get through it. And also the sense of camaraderie that you learn in the military, especially in the Marine Corps, from the other service members, is that you do have a sense of belonging. We talked about moving around. Mm-hmm. When I went to 13 different schools in 11 years, 3 different schools in the 10th grade alone, you don't feel like you belong to anything. Yeah. We both shared the experience that we always sought out theater and acting and that sort of the tribe in our new schools. I had that, but other than that, and I didn't know where I fit in.
Where did you find acting? Where did you find that oasis for you?
I started doing it as a kid in local children's theater. My mom signed me up for a community workshop, and I went, and I really enjoyed memorizing the lines and performing. I think part of it is that you get to put on another character when you're not comfortable with yourself. It's a lot easier to put on a character as somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how believable I was as a 10-year-old Romeo, but I did that. I went to an all-boys high school one semester, and they did a production of Romeo and Juliet.
Wow.
My typing teacher was Juliet.
Oh my God.
So I was Romeo.
You were Romeo.
Yeah, I don't know how I got that part. I didn't sleep with her to get that part.
But I was reading in your book that at one point you were in a play and you needed to get out for rehearsals, and so you kind of enlisted in a different program so that you could finish the rehearsals.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
After boot camp, I went on to officer candidate school, and my hair was out of boot camp, right. And my hair was a little bit longer than regulation. The Marines, they call us jar heads because we have that little patch of hair on top, and it looks like you can open our heads like a jar. You can't. But I needed to have it just a little bit longer to be in a play, and so I'd heard my commanding officer was looking for me, and he was going to cut my hair. And sure enough, I saw him coming down the hallway with a pair of scissors, and he pinned me against the wall. And I said, "Please, sir, don't cut my hair. I'm in a play." And he said, "Are you in college?" "Yeah. And if you just, don't cut it right now, I'll cut it next week." And he said, "Have you heard of officer candidate school?" And I said, "Would it make you not cut my hair?" And he said, "It would." So I went to boot camp all over again. Not the smartest thing, but I became an officer, and then I resigned my commission, finished my time in the enlisted Marines, and then I moved to New York after that.
That's amazing. We are going to talk a little bit more. We're going to go first quickly to a break. And this is wonderful. I'm having a great time. I'm here with Creg White, and we are
It might be a commercial starring me. You never know.
You never know. Stay tuned.
Be creative. Be a hero. Be the solution. Be connected. Be innovative. Be global. Be successful. Be you. Be MDC. Be Miami Dade College.
Hi, welcome. This is Joann Yarrow. I'm here at Open Page at Teatro Prometeo with my guest, Creg White. And we're having a wonderful conversation on theater, television, cooking, the Marines, everything. And
how's all that related?
how do you let's talk about a smorgasbord of really wonderful stuff. We're going to talk a little bit first about your wonderful acting career, because we were talking just now about Norman Lear and your work as a writer, and you got to work on all these shows through his mentorship, but then you went off on your own and you creating your own shows, but then you have your work as an actor as well. So tell us about that.
I started as an actor. I always thought that that's what I was going to do. And so I moved to New York. I do have a movie coming out in the spring though. I wear different glasses, so I look totally different.
Okay.
LAI Works, they were kind enough to loan me glasses, so I'm playing a newscaster in a Lifetime movie. But I moved to New York, and when I lived in New York, soap operas were a great way to get your union card. Mm-hmm. And it was a great way to learn what a set looked like, where the cameras were. It was multi-camera, and they need a lot of people. So I was hired. I was a doctor on Young in New York. I was on Another World.
Okay. Yes.
It was like I delivered Nina's baby for those people that watched that show. If you saw me, it looked like this.
So when people say, "Are you a doctor?" you say, "No."
But I've played one on TV.
Exactly.
I really have.
And then from there, how did you go to hosting a cooking show?
Well, that is, the through line for everything for me has been writing. Even a lot of times, people when you're an actor, there's people that want to write maybe a character or a show based on themselves. If you've got a one-person show in you, write it, perform it. You get attention from actors and agents. There's a lot of people that have years of life experience, 35, 45, 60-year-old people, and write that show. Write a 45-minute one-man show. How did you get to America? How did your parents get to America? What were your experiences like? Write that show, put it up on a stage. Somebody's going to come see it, tape it, break it up into 5-minute segments, build a YouTube channel. Before you know it, you have a show. Food Network and Cooking Channel looks on YouTube. That's not how I got discovered, but they find people like that all the time. I have a blog called Eat, Greg, Eat. And shameless plug, that's my Twitter, that's my Facebook, that's my Instagram. And I write this blog, and Food Network came to me and said, "I think your blog is a TV show." And I said, "I like the way you think." Yeah. and then I had cooked on TV the year before for Mark Burnett. I competed on a reality show called On the Menu.
Yes.
And they also found me through my blog. And so I had camera experience. That does help. And I had writing experience. If you're auditioning, even if you're not a writer, when you're auditioning and you get those sides and you get that script, it's really important for us actors to think like the writer. What was his intention in this line? No lines wasted, no parts wasted, or it wouldn't be in the show. So think about what's that intention? What word do I need to punch? What's the writer trying to convey here? And then you can really make a bit more of an effective audition. But they found me, Food Network contacted me, and I did a pilot for them, and it was really fun. I like to ride horses, so I played polo in the pilot. Very Argentinian. And I played polo, and then I replicated an Argentinian barbecue, which, God, I love those feasts. And that show's halfway in development, and then they put me on their show, Unique Sweets, right now. So I'm here in Miami. This is my second year to be at the South Beach Food and Wine Festival, which is a lot of fun. And I weighed like 10 pounds less before this. If the camera adds 10 pounds, it really doesn't. I added the 10 pounds in Miami. But, I also love being involved in a lot of projects.
Yeah.
I have a lot of irons in the fire on purpose because it's like throwing a biscuit against the wall. I'm going to throw a lot of biscuits against the wall and hope that one of them pops open with some money. Because it is a business.
Right.
So I blog, I write for the Huffington Post. I have a very active social media presence. I have this book. I have another one on the way. I have a show in development, a sitcom in development with Norman Lear. And, everybody can have that much stuff going on. If you get a chance to be in a play, do a student film, I think we talked about this a little bit before. Everybody, no matter what age you are, should buy an account on Actors Access.
Yes.
And I think it's $89 a year. I'm not sure. It's a tax deduction. But sign up, and then you see all the parts that are in Miami, all the shows that are coming, all the shows that are currently casting. And you can decide what you want to submit yourself to. And you can upload your headshot and your resume. And they need you.
Yes, I agree. And it's like you're constantly working. You don't need to wait for somebody to give you work. You're constantly doing things because you said the Huffington, but you also blog for a men's...
Goodman Project.
Yeah.
I love writing for them. That's a magazine that tries to find and tries to display through literature examples on how to be a better man to people that may not have access to those role models.
Exactly.
And when they approached me, I was like, yes, actually have more fun writing for them than I even do sometimes my own blog because they really explore some interesting aspects.
So this book is also important in terms of role modeling because I think one of the things that you say why you wrote this book is, wishing for people who maybe are suffering through this identity crisis, which sometimes you feel, I'm out or I'm not man enough, as you said, or and it leads to sometimes very tragic results. And if they could have this as, and you add a lot of humor as well into the book, which is great, but you also a lot of courage as well. So
I wanted to thank you, and I really love that you read the book. That was really sweet.
Absolutely.
when I started hearing those stories of bullying and young kids across the country and the world that chose to end their life rather than, like the Marines taught me, take one more step. Look, if I can become a United States Marine, anybody can do anything. And I want those people to understand that, it does get better. If you're 16 and 17 and you're getting bullied and you're having all these negative things around you, stay true to yourself and just charge forward. Don't let them win. Plug forward, go through. If you're 50 and you have just come to this country, you don't know a soul, you don't know the language, stick with it. Don't let some jerk American who's been here tell you that, he doesn't understand what you're saying, or, get frustrated with you because your English isn't good. Because guess what? We need you on television. We need your character. We need to have that layer of global representation in all of our programming.
And that's America, right?
We're a melting pot.
We're a melting pot. And you're more American through the Marines and through everything that you do. Even the cooking that you do is also such an American symbol of everything that you're doing. We're going to have to come right back. I'm going to have to cut you short, but we'll be back for our last segment with Creg Cope-White.
Cool programs for hot jobs. Let Miami Dade College jumpstart your career. We offer bachelor's degrees in film and TV production, nursing, electronics engineering, information systems technology, supervision and management, supply chain management, or choose from 300 other programs to study. You can take classes during the day, evening, weekend, or online. For more info, visit MDC.edu or call 305-237-8888. Get the knowledge and training for today's in-demand jobs. Register now. Miami Dade College.
Hi, my name is Joann Yarrow, and we're here with Open Page with my guest, Creg Cope-White, and we're having a fantastic discussions here about being in the military, about being American, about being an actor, about being a writer. What else do you do? I mean, you've just done just about everything. Talk to us a little bit about, that life in the military, and we were just talking about what it means to be an American in the military.
I know we're going to talk about cooking on television too,
Yes.
and I think being in the military definitely taught me an appreciation for good food, because let's face it, America, I'm sorry if the food in the military is horrible. It's never gotten better, but I'm grateful to have it. I think the foundation for everything for me, the through line for all of that you just introduced, is writing. Even when I was in boot camp at 18 years old, I knew I was going to write a book about my experience. I didn't know what that book was going to be or how I was going to write that. I hadn't written television before. I wasn't an actor. I wasn't a blogger. I was a Marine, but I kept those memories. There's probably not anybody that's ever been through boot camp that doesn't have exactly the recollection that I do, day by day, minute by minute, of these vivid memories that I've chronicled. But I did know that I wanted to do that. I didn't know how I wanted to tell the story, and it was through sitcom writing and my experience writing for television that I learned where to interject the humor in the stories. Otherwise, it'd be just a really serious, dragged down book. But the whole reason I wanted to make it funny was to entertain as well as enlighten, if it can. But it takes some time to be away from that experience to find the humor.
But you were very lucky because you got to meet a very important mentor, which is Norman Lear.
He writes the foreword to the book.
And how did you meet him, and how did that relationship begin?
I got really lucky. When I was an actor in New York, and I moved to LA, and about a month after I moved, a writer's strike hit. And there were no auditions for actors, but I had this stack of scripts next to me from auditions that I'd been on, and I'd be reading through the scripts, and one day I thought, I could write this. And I literally had no auditions. There was no work. So I pounded out a script. I thought of a show that I wanted to write, and I wrote it. And I got really lucky. A friend of a friend worked for Norman, and he actually hired me. And that was my first job in Hollywood.
Wow. And what did you learn from this experience? Because, he's got an amazing legacy. And what did you get to be a part of during that legacy?
One of the first things that he taught me, and I think this is important for everybody to remember, is this exact phrase: there's room in this business for everyone. And especially now that there's all these extra platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime, and and cable television and all of these things and the internet. There's room in this business for everyone. And for me to hear that as a young writer was really important, because I thought maybe it was like the Marine Corps, an obstacle. I look at Hollywood as a walled city. And inside the walled city, you worked for Hal Prince in New York. Yeah. I worked for Norman Lear, and inside of that walled city is legitimate Hollywood. The prizes, the networks, the great jobs, whether you're an actor or a producer, all the stuff that you see on the Golden Globes and the Oscars and everything like that. And now everybody wants to be in that circle. So if you can get in that circle, at least your resume looks a little better, your credits are better, there's a cachet that really is necessary. There's still, and I was that person, I was one of those people trying to hop over that wall and get in. And then once you get a union card and start to get jobs and start to audition more and start to meet people, that is, I think the second thing, the most important thing that I ever learned from Norman was be nice.
Yes, I hear that all the time. I hear that from agents. We bring casting people here to talk to our students. And I think it's so important because relationships, we're human beings.
You're going to see those same people. Yeah. Every job in show business ends. The Simpsons is going to end. I don't want to crush anybody's bubble out there, but it's going to end. And every soap opera, well, that's almost non-existent anymore. Every film production stops. Every TV show stops. Every radio show, everything comes to an end. And all those people that you worked with are going to go on to another job. And so there's a network that you build. That's why directors like Hitchcock, all the way to Quentin Tarantino today, and Woody Allen work with the same actors and the same makeup artists and the same set designers. They pick up the phone and say, "Hey, let's go. Let's do another show." And you better have behaved yourself on that set.
Yes, absolutely, because it's the relationships that we keep and how we're going to be growing. We're going to learn a little bit more about your cooking show and how you got into this lovely culinary world. We're also here with our Culinary Institute at Miami Dade College. So we have some culinary students that will probably want to know a little bit about that. When we come back, I'm here with Greg Cope-White.
Cool programs for hot jobs. Let Miami Dade College jumpstart your career. We offer bachelor's degrees in physician assistant studies, biological sciences, education, and public safety management. Or choose from 300 other programs. With our flexible course schedules, you can take classes during the day, evening, weekend, or online. For more info, visit mdc.edu or call 305-237-8888. Get the knowledge and training for today's in-demand jobs. Register now.
Hi, I'm Joann Yarrow. I'm here with Open Page at Teatro Prometeo at Miami Dade College. I am here with Greg Cope-White, my guest, and we are here talking about his book, The Pink Marine, which you just told me is being optioned also as a television series. Is that correct?
And I don't get to play myself at 18. That is the worst thing. The producers told me there is not enough special effects to make me look 18 again. Plus, I really don't want to shave my head. Yes, it's option for a TV series. We're so fortunate to live in this time when there's all these other platforms. This is not an ABC or a CBS show. It's a look at, I kept a gay secret and served openly, or served with the secret, serving in the military, and we want to keep that for the TV show. So the producers know that it's going to be Netflix or Amazon Prime or a different platform for that.
And we were talking before about these TV shows that, were created, like All in the Family, like these shows about single mothers that nobody thought that would ever pick up or be popular. And all of a sudden, there was this audience out there who did connect with these shows, which were the single moms, which were, like we were talking about, the Jeffersons.
Right.
And how these shows are so important because they are talking to the rest of our community. And I think this is also an important part as well.
You're looking at a lot of diverse casting in Hollywood right now. The edict has come down. The people watching television are not a bunch of just white middle-class Americans sitting in Ohio. It's a Latin family, it's an Asian family, it's a black family, and we need to see those characters on television. I want to see more gay characters on television. I also want to see more 50-year-old white guys on TV too. That's just me. But there are single women that don't want to come home and maybe don't want to watch a show about a regular standard American family. They want to see somebody telling their story and their struggle. And this is how, how many people do you know that came to this country, it certainly happened with my family, who came to this country and learned their English from television?
Oh, a lot of people. A lot of people, absolutely. Now they're learning their Spanish.
I was going to say, I have choices now. Sometimes when I'm traveling and I'm in the hotel, I listen to Spanish television and watch the soap operas. Are so fantastic.
Yeah.
I watch them for an hour and I think I got that word.
Exactly. Because also television is becoming so diverse as well, because you have Spanish television and we have Hispanic actors, being represented in different ways that are not the stereotypical ways. And and same is true with, we talk about diverse characters. This is an interesting theme because you're touching on some sensitive issues with the military, even though you have a deep respect for the military, but this is an important issue to you.
And everybody one of the reasons that I developed all the characters so richly in the book, all these characters are the real guys that I was in with. I had certainly not lived with, who has? You probably have never lived with a Chinese family. So here I am in this. Oh, actually, you might have.
I might have.
Yeah. So never say never about anybody. But here I was. I wanted to tell the stories of the black kids that I learned about their upbringing, the kids that were overweight, the Puerto Rican kids. I'd never met anybody from Puerto Rico.
That's amazing.
This kid was fantastic, and so I get to develop those characters. So when you see this as a TV series, it's not just me, but it's my Filipino drill instructor, it's my Italian drill instructor. My best friend that I enlisted with is half Japanese, so I knew a little bit about that culture. But it was, all the different, I was raised in the South in the 70s. I was afraid of black people. There were a lot of times where I felt like I was going to be threatened or beaten up. Now I got to be one of their peers, and I got to learn to have a mutual respect.
That's amazing. As you said before, you were here in Miami, and there's a lot of diversity here in Miami. I don't know. You've got the Haitian community, you have the Hispanic community, you have the Anglo community. You have tons of communities here. What are you coming away with from Miami and being here?
I'm coming away with a level of excitement that I don't find anywhere else in the country. It's not just the music that thumps as I'm trying to have a brunch. And I say trying to have a brunch because I was in a meeting. And I'm thinking, wow, it's 3:00 in the afternoon and the music is thumping.
Right.
It kind of makes me feel, it makes me want to feel like I want to join in and be that hip. But I'm also that guy that can't dance. There's a vibrancy here that needs to be explored and needs to keep on easing across the country. I think everybody has a pretty good impression of Miami as a multicultural, vibrant city.
Yes.
The colors, the smells, the flavors. It's really easy to fall in love with the food here. And so I definitely always leave excited about seeing more of that dappled across.
Thank you so much. And any last words for our students here at Miami Dade College?
You said the word student, and what I always believe is we just never stop learning. Every audition is a learning experience.
Yes.
Even if you're not going to stay in show business or stay in acting, every time you go for a job interview, that's an audition. Every time you have a first date, that's an audition. If you're using a headshot, use a realistic headshot. We want to see characters. We want to see your real true self. So there are, in a production, look at a Shakespeare play, there's 2 leading great looking young characters, but there's 50 fat, old, crazy, wiry haired, Jewish, black, Puerto Rican characters. Be that. Be yourself. There's only one you. Don't try to be a vanilla. Be Neapolitan.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And this is Open Page. Thank you so much for being with us today.